48 hours ago, the landing lights were green. Bo Bichette to the Dodgers felt like a 45% certainty, a luxurious piece that would round out an already terrifying lineup and send a clear message to the National League. Today, that probability has plummeted, sinking below 20%. Not because the bat suddenly cooled off, but because of a single number that just leaked from the negotiating table. A number so audacious, so utterly detached from reality, that it might be the death knell of the deal before the ink even dries.
Welcome back to 615 Al Dia Baseball, where we dive deep into the seismic shifts of the off-season market. And if you thought the biggest question facing the Dodgers was who fills the outfield, forget it. The actual emergency is figuring out how one of the most exciting hitters in baseball convinced himself he deserves Francisco Lindor money. Let's not mince words. $300 million. That's the reported price tag Bo Bichette is seeking, and while we haven't seen that confirmed by every single insider, if there is even a sliver of truth to the idea that he is anchoring his ask at that astronomical mark, then in the words of the great Randy Jackson, that's a no for me, dog. Bichette is a fantastic player, a bona fide all-star, but he is fundamentally not a $300 million player, and putting himself in the same tier as a healthy Corey Seager or a peak Lindor simply doesn't compute. His true market ceiling, based on performance and positional value, peaks comfortably in the $180 million to $200 million range over 7 or 8 years. A $25 to $28 million average annual value is realistic. $33 million AAV is delusional. The conventional wisdom always dictates start high, negotiate down. And yes, you need to set the bar high if you want to reach a lofty compromise. But there is a critical, often ignored difference between setting a high bar and setting an insulting bar. And when a player who carries a defensive liability goes past the $250 million threshold, you're inviting the front office to hang up the phone. And that's precisely what is happening in Los Angeles. Ken Rosenthal confirmed the internal thinking of the Dodgers, and it's cold, analytical, and ruthless. They view Bichette not as a franchise shortstop, but strictly as a second baseman candidate. And what's the shocker of the century? The Dodgers want him on their predictable, short-term, high average annual value deal, a strategy designed to maximize immediate output while minimizing long-term risk to a player whose defense is, frankly, putrid.
This is the crucial counterpoint. The immediate knee-jerk reaction is that Bichette is a hitter so exceptional that his glove doesn't matter, but the defense absolutely dictates his ultimate price. We're talking about a player whose defensive runs saved metrics consistently hover in the -12 to -15 range across recent seasons. That's league-worst territory for a full-time shortstop, placing him far closer to the bottom tier of fielders than to the elite echelon the $300 million price tag suggests.
You cannot demand elite franchise money for a position that you immediately need to vacate or one that requires daily management to mitigate disaster. The argument that he's an elite hitter who happens to play short is invalidated by the data showing the Dodgers' urgent need is outfield stability, not an expensive, repositioned middle infielder. A key figure, an established agent deeply connected to the talks, whom we'll call the Hammer, confided that Bichette's camp likely saw the Dodgers as the deep pocket ready to overpay for a luxury bat, but that the demand itself has poisoned the well. They saw an open door, the Hammer said, but they charged through it with a figure that immediately allows the Dodgers to pivot without guilt. The front office just doesn't believe they need to spend $350 million on a guy they plan to play at second base. The true dramatic realization that has shifted this entire market is that the leak of the $300 million figure, which was undoubtedly tactical, leaked by agents hoping to pressure the Dodgers or the Blue Jays, or perhaps to elevate the conversation with high-spending suitors like the Mets or the Phillies, has ultimately backfired spectacularly on the Los Angeles front. A trusted source within the Dodgers' decision-making circle, let's call him the architect, shared this sentiment. We needed a luxury item, not a headache that consumes our entire budget and prevents us from addressing the corner outfield. That $300 million number is the leverage we now have to fully exit and pivot to the true needs.
The chance for Bo to bet on himself with the Dodgers, taking that high AAV short-term deal for 2 years and hitting the market again at age 28, is now severely diminished because of one staggering overreach. The dream is dead, folks. The door slams shut because of greed disguised as ambition, and the consequences ripple across the entire offseason. So, the market for Bo Bichette is now fundamentally changed, and his demand has pushed his chances of landing in Los Angeles from probable to utterly improbable overnight, forcing the Dodgers to now look squarely at the outfield market, realizing that chasing a $300 million second baseman when they need a reliable center fielder is not just poor strategy, it's negligence.
If you appreciate this rapid breakdown of the shifting baseball landscape and the high-stakes negotiation games being played, make sure you hit that like button, share this video with every Dodgers fan who still dreams of Bo, and subscribe to 615 Al Día Baseball for daily deep dives. And tell me in the comments below, if the Dodgers walk away from Bichette because of this price tag, who should be their immediate primary target for the outfield? Let us know what you think.